Well, it's time for us to spend some time in the kitchen. It is Meat-Free Mondays, and Chef Jay is here in the kitchen because we're about to whip up some cauliflower steaks with turmeric oil, courtesy of our BWELL canola oil, which is amazing. And when you think of all the different spices, I think, you know, we were talking about the Indian spices. It's literally traveled all over the world. And even though we are incorporating it in our cauliflower, we are creating a delicious dish. Yep. Chef Jay, I'm very excited about this.
Thank you so much. So we're going to start off with getting our mixture going, but you know what you're actually aiming for here is to trim off all of those leaves at the bottom.
Yes.
So let's just show the core there. So trim away all of those bits and pieces there, and then you're left with placing the core down on your board and then cutting steaks. So that's what we're trying to achieve. And I know a few people will be like, that's not a steak.
That is a cauliflower steak.
That's a cauliflower steak. So that's what we're going for. And from there, we're going to start with our mixture so that we can marinate this beautiful steak. Okay,
fantastic.
so I'm going to start with 100 mils of BWELL Deliciousness oil.
There we go. And you know what's great about the BWELL canola oil? It is naturally cholesterol-free.
Yep.
It also is low in saturated fat, and it is high in omega-3s.
Yeah. Next up, we've got some turmeric, which is in itself, you know, antioxidant, and it's also anti-inflammatory, all those good things. We've got toasted, pre-toasted cumin seeds, a tablespoon of that. We've got cumin, a teaspoon of that going in. And then we're going to add quite a bit of salt. So I'm going to do probably a teaspoon of salt here.
Okay.
Beautiful salt as well. This is beautiful sea salt. So try use high quality ingredients whenever you're making your food, right?
Okay.
As much as your budget allows, go for the highest quality things.
I wanted to ask you, in terms of cauliflower, it's got quite a unique taste to it. And I know it's not always everyone's cup of tea.
Sure.
Is that why you're really focusing on the spices?
Yeah, you know, cauliflower it takes on the flavor of what you actually, you know, putting into it.
Okay.
So it's a really good medium to work from. So next thing we're doing here, as I said, I cut those already. I just want to get a few on the hot plate. So I'm just going to brush our beautiful marinade. Oh, I mean, look at those colors.
Look at that. Okay.
And this is the best part, you know, the mess in the kitchen. You know, you're going to get it all over their hands a little bit, yeah, but that's cool, you know.
But that's part of cooking.
This is part of cooking. And the turmeric is going to stain it, but it is Diwali, you know, so, you know, we're kind of getting into that culture.
It's a small price you pay to cook with turmeric.
Next up, putting it straight onto a hot grid.
Okay.
And try get a grid like we're using here in the kitchen today. You know, it's got those ribbed pieces, and that's just going to add another texture dimension to it. As you can see, as the folks at home can see there, that char grilledness, that kind of grid will help with that.
So my next question for you is, when I think of steaks, and I'm sorry to talk about meat now, but I think of the braai. So is cauliflower steak something you can also cook over the braai?
Absolutely, and it cooks beautifully, it holds together nicely. And for our banting friends out there, this is also great, plant-based, obviously, this is where we're at. And you know what's interesting to me, just looking at that, you know, it looks like a brain.
It does.
You know, and it is brain food. Just like walnuts, if you look at walnuts, they're also brain food, and it just takes on those images, right?
I will never ever look at a brain the same way.
So Zoe, while I'm busy here, would you mind plating how beautifully they've plated it there with some of our coconut yogurt that we've used?
Okay.
Or you can also use BWELL mayonnaise and some cucumber.
Okay, I'm going to try and mimic the way
you know,
our kitchen fairies
the
did.
chefy way that they've done it there. Just that's it.
There we
go. All right, so I'm just going to cut some more here.
There we go.
And what we're aiming for here is about 5 minutes each side on the grid.
Okay.
And
in
let
terms
it
of
cook
texture,
nice and slowly,
I've always wondered, because cauliflower, if it's not cooked properly all the way through, it's got a bit of a crunch to it.
That's good.
Is that what you want?
You know, with veggies, you don't want to overcook veggies. I think a lot of people think you've got to cook veggies for like 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever it is. Like overcooking it is never good. It goes sloppy.
It goes soggy.
Depends on the veggie, of course. Some veggies do need time, like butternut and that. But something like this, I mean, we're talking 10 minutes in total because it was 5 minutes each side. So I'm just going to turn that. Obviously, use the tools that you have in the kitchen. All right,
there we go.
That's looking good.
And what's great about our BWELL canola oil, it's got the Heart and Stroke Foundation seal of approval, and it is locally sourced, made with GMO-free canola oil, which is great in terms of sustainability.
Yeah, and you know, these canola fields, they're out towards, on your way out towards Stanford and actually where, you know, BWELL's head offices are.
Okay.
You can see those at about, I think it was spring this time of year, the canolas were out.
The yellow.
Melkbos, that area, it's so beautiful. So a lot of people have it in their heads that, you know, canola's not good for you and it's genetically modified and all of these things. It's grown right here and it's sourced right here. So it's a beautiful product. I use it in my own kitchen. I wouldn't endorse anything that I don't use myself. And this product is super fantastic. So these are going quite nicely. You can see that char grilledness that we're going for here.
Yes.
All right, so we're kind of just waiting for this and then the plating. And you see, vegan cooking or plant-based cooking doesn't have to be that complicated, right?
No.
This is a meal all in itself. Add some wedges, some potato wedges, lime with those potato wedges, and you're good to go with a meal. If you're cutting out the carbs, maybe not potatoes, sweet potato.
But also I was saying, like, the thing I love about cauliflower is as a replacement for making so instead of mashed potatoes, you make like a cauliflower puree or mashed cauliflower.
Absolutely.
Put it that way.
And cauliflower buffalo wings, you know, that's become super good, you know, using hot sauce and deep fried or bake it.
Okay, I feel like that is a recipe suggestion for next week. We definitely need to do that.
They're so good. They're so good. And last week I actually made buffalo wings using Brussels sprouts.
Oh.
Those are also really good because Brussels sprouts have a bad rep as well, you know. A lot of the times people are like, oh, those are weird, super weird.
Love that you're giving veggies a really cool new makeover and name and flavors to it. If you would love to make our cauliflower steaks with turmeric oil, we do have that recipe available on our website. It's expressoshow.com. Chef Jay, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. I'm going to plate this.
And of course, if you missed any of these steps, we do have a wonderful little recap for you.
A little bit of coriander.
There we go.
Not as beautiful as the food fairies have done, but, you know, pretty good. Pretty impressive.
Check out expressoshow.com for the recipe.
Enjoy a selection of delicious plant-based meals and download your free copy of the BWELL Vegan Cookbook today.